Hi, everyone. Welcome to Shawn's Horror Movie Favorites. I'm your host, Shawn Thomas, and today I am going to be talking about Friday the 13th, the original intro. Yes, Friday the 13th, the original, the movie that started it all. Perhaps Jason Voorhees is one of your favorite horror icons. Um, yeah, he, as we know him now, was not in that movie. He was a little boy that drowned in the lake. A mongoloid, uh, in the words of Betsy Palmer when she was asked about the film. Betsy Palmer being the original killer. Spoilers. Um, Honestly, the only reason why she took this job was to pay for a car. She needed a car, so she took the job to pay for a car. It just it's the funniest damn thing. Imagine like taking a movie that could possibly ruin a reputation that you built over the years just because you needed a car. I do kind of get where she's coming from though, because if you don't have a car, you're not making it to other film applications. Um. Anyway, a little bit of story with this particular movie. Spoilers. I will be talking about the entire movie. Basically, just giving you the lowdown on what the movie is. It's basically just this movie about a group of summer camp counselors that come into Crystal Lake to restart the camp. It had been closed for a very long time due to a boy drowning one year, uh, water water issues one year, then the murder of two camp counselors, as we see at the beginning of the movie. Um, Basically, like these counselors wind up getting picked off one by one. One of them, ironically, being Kevin Bacon, someone who's not really known today as someone who was in the horror genre. Like most people know him for Footloose, or like any freaking anything else but Friday the 13th. Uh, I mean, even Tremors is mentioned more. Um, yeah, that might be a horror movie that I wind up covering at some point. Anyway, this these people all die one by one. Uh, until we get to the final girl, which would be Alice, played by Adrian King. Adrian King, more on her after the lowdown of the movie. Um, she winds up meeting Pamela Voorhees, who was an old friend of the Christies, the people that owned the land that Crystal Lake was on. And she starts talking about how her son died as a boy, Like it was this whole thing. Like she was in the guise of helping, but she was really there to just reveal, hey, my son died, and now I'm just gonna kill everybody at this camp. So that was basically her plan this entire time, was to just freaking kill. Uh, Basically, what she was trying to do was just stop the summer camp from being reopened, so that what happened to her son wouldn't happen to some other unfortunate kid. Uh, Adrian King would go on to play in Friday the 13th Part 2, but her involvement was very limited due to the fact that at the time she actually had a stalker. She had talked about this on the documentary His Name Was Jason, and probably also uh, touched on it in Memories at Crystal Lake, the novelization that came out. It was basically just a novel celebrating the franchise. She had had a stalker that just made her life a living hell. Like this guy would be everywhere, and at one point she even said how she had to face him down with there being a gun involved. Yeah, kudos to her for being able to pick up her life after that. Today, she enjoys working on art. She enjoys going to conventions. She loves meeting the fans of the original movie as well as all the franchise. Uh, she's she does a lot of really cool art pieces. A lot of times, if you happen to catch her at one of the conventions that she's at, she'll typically have samples of her work. Very talented. Um, Recently, I had seen a fan film where she was actually one of the stars of the fan film. Like who would have ever guessed that she would reprise her role many years later? They basically written off the fact that Alice died. Basically, like she was only mortally wounded and she was saved. Basically, it was just for the sake of this fan film. I'm trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head. Uh, I believe it was Friday the 13th Vengeance, but it it was pretty good. Like I loved her role in it. She played like this badass chick, and like she didn't really show up until the end. She didn't show up until the end, but it was so freaking awesome to see her just fighting back, just like she did against Pamela Voorhees in the original movie. When people think of Friday the 13th, they think of just the fact that it started a lot of different, just a lot of different franchises with with holiday themes. I mean, Halloween was the first. Let's face it, like even the people behind Friday the 13th will tell you like they were just told to rip off Halloween. But I feel like they did their own thing with it. They created a fun story, and it's definitely like it's not my favorite in the franchise, but it is one that I really do like to sit down and enjoy watching. It's got its share of funny moments, like most horrors do, like when they have to kill the snake uh, in in the cabin, like that was actually unscripted. Like that was just something that kind of happened, and they left it in the movie. That's what I've heard. Like I don't really. It's just it's a story that was going around amongst horror fans that it wasn't actually scripted, and they did really have to kill this snake. Um, man, I hope PETA didn't get jumped down their throat for that one, huh? Anyway, uh, sorry if I seem like I'm rambling on. I don't know necessarily know what I want this podcast to be yet, but I do know that it is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I figure the Friday the 13th series would probably be the best films to start, considering that I know them front to back, even the ones that I'm not big fan of. Jason Goes to Hell. Uh, so with that, this ends the first episode of my podcast. Uh, I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for listening.